Touchdowns and Tangents Radio. I'm PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Barry.
We got to mix up the intro a little bit because it's the 30th anniversary of Big Daddy Kane's album dropping, so wanted to pay a little homage to him.
Breaking up the monotony.
And yeah, man, it was a crazy week this week. Kenny and I are both going through shit. Hip-hop is going through shit. NBA draft was today, hence the delay.
Shout out to
Courtside Radio. But it's all good. We're here, man. We had to catch up on the draft. But the biggest thing, and I think this show is really going to show it, Touchdowns and Tangents, if you've never listened to it, is basically NFL news, your weekly dose, and casual conversations you have with your friends. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're getting back to the basics, talking a little Raiders. Definitely going to talk some hip-hop.
There's also a lot of pettiness, social issues, conversations you have about in barbershops and at family reunions that may or may not divide the whole table, but you're having the conversation, so somebody takes away something from it.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, if you're listening to this on the Good News radio station app or website, you can feel free to call in this week. 323-900-0478 is the line. If you want to talk Raiders, if you got some stuff you want to get off your chest, whatever the case, feel free to do that, man. It's going to be an open format show this week because really there's just a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's kind of all over the grid, and that's kind of what this show's about. Yes, we start off with football, but nothing is off limits.
Pretty much. Yeah, man. Lately the show's been kind of more, I guess we're growing up, as our homie Andrew Martinez said. Touchdowns and Tangents is finally growing up, guys. And yes, he really sounds like that.
Yeah, man. Fuck all that. And you know what, man? Just because of that,
I'm going to need you on the sound effects. I'm going to need you to really, channeling your inner petty.
Wow, someone took off the gunshots.
No gun violence this week, man. That describes this week.
I guess that replaced the gunshots? All right.
A dry-ass fart.
All right, man.
Too many graham crackers.
All right, man. I know we're going to start with Madden, but let's just flip the whole show on top of his head because we can do that.
Of course.
I think that's the whole great thing about this show, and that's why we do this podcast is like usually every single week because this podcast is always growing, always changing. It means something different to different people. It means something different to me than it does to Kenny, and it's just an ever-evolving thing.
Sometimes it means the same thing. It just varies.
So before I get into what I want to talk about, why don't you go ahead and tell people what this podcast is like, KB?
Okay. This podcast is like when it's the summertime and everybody's like, oh, yeah, my summer body. And you and your friends all go out to day parties. And, the whole dynamic shifts. That one friend who's, always super responsible gets mad, drunk, wasted, and starts crying. The other friend that's, super irresponsible just sits there dismayed, just shakes his head. And then there's always that one person in the group who's usually level-headed and turns out to be, the biggest monster out of all of you.
So you pretty much described me on my birthday.
All of us on our birthday and our feelings, and especially for me when the song Go comes on by Alex the Kid and her. Yeah. Pretty much us all. Just, it really is summertime savagery. That's all I can say.
On that note, I want to go into some savagery, man. Listen, if you ever listen to this, especially in the podcast format, on Stitcher, iTunes, wherever the case, you'll know hip-hop is a heavy influence on the show. Yeah, it's mostly football. It's a football subject. But hip-hop is heavily influenced in all of our titles, our descriptions, our content, the way we talk, the way we conduct ourselves.
So many subliminals.
Yeah. Hip-hop matters here. And this week was a crazy week for hip-hop. First, we had Nas drop his album. Then we had Jay-Z come with the ultimate pettiness and drop an album out of nowhere just to upstage Nas a whole day later after Nas finally came back.
I feel like it was more of a Kanye clapback. He's just getting at everyone associated with Kanye. And Drake.
And then on Monday, we had XXXTentacion murdered in the streets in broad daylight. And then we also had a Pittsburgh rapper whose name I can't remember at the top of my head, which I will get snuffed in Pittsburgh. But he was also shot and killed. So it's just been a crazy week in hip-hop, and it's not enough to just breeze over it. Usually we save that sort of stuff for the end of the show and our monologue, but I really want to talk about it because there's so much that happened. And, oh, yeah, I didn't even mention that J-Rock's album came out, which KB loves, but Redemption. I don't.
It's grown on me. Some songs I don't care about, but I feel like this is the most they've done for a J-Rock album. And I think he really is the best lyricist.
Listen, man,
he's like the representative of TDE. He's the embodiment of TDE.
I've been saying this for a long time. Really, not that long, just since I've seen Infinity War. But J-Rock is pretty much Gamora of TDE. He's pretty much the Soul Stone.
Ouch.
He was pretty much sacrificed, and he was sacrificed, and what birthed out was Kendrick Lamar. Because let's not front like K-Dot was really popping before he discovered Dre. Besides that, I've always been a huge J-Rock fan. Just I've always really been drawn to his grittiness in his voice, and the way he storytells is so authentic. And then when he bounces out with different harmonies, like I've really always been a huge J-Rock fan. And just this past album, I felt like didn't do him a lot of justice because it kind of got away from that, and he was playing more with mainstream stuff like the Triplet Foe, like the Kendrick Lamar different voices that he's doing, like some of the J. Cole like harmonies. Like I just heard a lot of different influences that I felt like were more for the casual fan than the actual like hardcore J-Rock fan.
Yeah, for me, I mean, just because like the song "When" came out, I thought that was going to be like one of the first songs on there, but he
poached King's Dead.
King's Dead still kind of just makes me mad.
He
I
really
hated Future that. All over again.
He really poached that song. Like,
I hated Future all over again after hearing that, and I'm like, yeah, I wish this song wasn't on the album. But Redemption itself, the song with SZA was beautiful. It was dope. And then I think it was GS. I forget. It was GS something. But there was like 2 tracks in the middle that were really dope.
Yeah, my favorite songs are the ones that he's solo. Like I don't like the features are good. Like they're good songs.
The J. Cole feature was good.
Like the J. Cole song is a good song, but it's like it doesn't do it for me. Like it's not in my rotation.
For me, the first part told a good story, and I like J. Cole's bars. Like I think that was the dopest part. The fact that he even got J. Cole on there. Like it was it's almost like hearing it and then thinking about both their trajectories and how far they've come.
For me, it was an opposite effect. Like, oh, okay, now you're getting all these big features, and now you're getting all this high level production, but I didn't feel like it was true to the strange music J-Rock that came up with Tech and was really gritty and underground.
But I mean, people change and they grow, and their sound changes.
And then
Kanye sounded different after the accident with his jaw.
I get it.
50 Cent sounded different after he got shot in the face 9 times.
As far as the Nas album, though, I don't feel like people are giving that enough credit. And I've been really hard on good music this whole month. You know I have, especially with those seven track demos they've been putting out.
7 is a good number in nature because it's a heavenly number.
Yeah, whatever.
But I'm pissed about a certain song on that you
Cop
really
Shot
like.
The Kid?
Yeah, it was bullshit.
It was a dope song though. I get why
Kanye's part on there pissed me off.
I get why you have a problem with it.
But
that's
a slick Rick. It sounded cool
it's dope.
Until MAGA Coon Kanye came on.
Yeah, I feel you.
I was like, really, bro?
I feel you.
Really?
My favorite song was the Adam and Eve because the bars she's talking about, like if you actually just sit there, and I actually did this, sit in the sauna and listen to that song on repeat, and Nas just takes you through a journey of like just bars. I haven't felt like that about a rap song in a minute, where I can just sit and listen to it over and over again, and not hear something different, but hear more and understand more and see something different.
Intro song was one of my favorites. The first song. I just think with Nas, I still think Life is Good is one of his better albums.
Because the concept was so great and it just all kind of matched up with the timing and people, the streets waiting for him. It was just like everything came together.
This was, I don't want to hear 7 songs from Nas. I want to hear like a full 10 to 12. I get why he did. But honestly,
this felt more like a mixtape to me. This felt like, let's get some album out. Because even before that, Hip Hop Was Dead had a whole theme to it, had a whole feel to it, had a whole lot of production. This one kind of did. It was more of just like, hey, I'm back. That's really kind of what I got from it. Was like, hey, I can still rap. Like,
it was adult content, but I also think, and this has been echoed on other podcasts, like Joe Budden said it hilariously, but it's pretty much a common thing. You could tell listening to some of the songs that Nas probably hadn't heard some of those beats. So it sounds like Kanye did some producer magic, took some bars out, put in some old sample. You can tell like there was a lot. That's why it was a day late. Like you can just tell that the verses and everything were done a long time ago, but you mixed in like a different sound, and it was just kind of a different sounding album for Nas. But it sounded like real ragtime, like we went to a speakeasy back in time, and like the screen was gray. Yeah. That's what this album sounds like. It should be played at. It
sounded like kind of like Watch the Throne, but like less swag.
I think it sounded
less
like
cockiness.
I think it sounded like what Magna Carta Holy Grail was supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like if and I only liked one song off that album. Like if I guess I'm like, but if that song came out and was in the vein of a Magna Carta Holy Grail, I'd be like, all right, I get this. But just based off all that dumb shit that Kanye was saying and his stupid ass counterproductive verse on the end of Cop Shot the Kids, I was just like, it killed the whole song for me. And like it, just hearing Kanye talk now just kills whatever he's a part of for me, and it's really sad because I grew up on those first 3 albums.
As for Jay's album, have you heard it?
Jay's, I don't have Tidal.
It's on Apple Music now. I think so. It's probably on Spotify.
I didn't even care about some of the songs. I just
honestly, man,
the visuals were like he's renting out the Louvre. These motherfuckers. This is godlike. This. Shout out to Jay and Beyonce. They rented out the Louvre, bruh. You know how hard that is to do?
Okay. My whole thought is, though,
she
like,
was flipping her dress around.
Is this going to be a new trend now? Are we going to start getting couple albums? Because I'm not here for this. Like,
this is the maturation of them doing songs together.
Come on.
Because Bonnie and Clyde sucked, in my opinion.
I liked Lift Off.
Lift Off was fucking trash.
I didn't like Crazy in Love. I liked Lift Off.
Crazy in Love was cool. That was like a.
I don't ever think I made it to Jay-Z's verse in that song. Like I always just.
It was kind of
in the first part.
It was flowing through.
Yeah.
You mostly just watched the video and like, damn, Beyonce.
Yeah, pretty much.
With the red bottoms.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I listened to it and it was solid, but it's not going to be in my rotation. Like I can't even tell you a song that jumped out to me and I listened to it twice through. So.
That was like the height of me.
Plus, it was another small album, which I'm not here for. So
yeah,
y'all need to stop making me wait 2 years and giving me 9 songs. Like especially when these SoundCloud rappers are coming out with new singles every single week.
R.I.P. X, because he was one of the people who did. But I feel like that's just the new people are music is switching. The artists are realizing minimalism is key, because I think Nas also this helps him getting off his label too.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. So what you were talking about, X, man. I just want to say, long live X, man. Because here's the whole thing with me. We've had talks about X on this show multiple times. I've had talks with a lot of friends about X. You
jumped down my throat when I didn't know about him, and you said, "Bro, this dude is amazing." Like he raps and sings about what you're going through. You specifically when you were talking about me, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I haven't really fully given it a shot, but
yeah, bro.